Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new video and it's not a process video. Today it's a flip-through video. This is the first half, slightly more than half actually I think, part of my New York album from my trip in August 2019, which you can see right there. So this is my opening page and there are process videos for a lot of these. Not every single page, I didn't record every single one, but a lot of them, probably 80%. I would guess 75 to 80% have process videos. So if you're just tuning in now and you like this, you can go back and watch any of those that you like. So for this, I loved this acrylic piece. This is from Bramble Fox. They're a company out of the UK, but they have a lot of travel related things that they do. And I had to snap that up when I saw it. And in my scrapping, I'm not afraid to do just one pagers here and there if it calls for it. So like this is just a one page layout really. And it was about coming into Penn Station because we took the train from Boston to New York. Went to Boston first for a couple days, then we did New York a couple days. And then just a little bit about our itinerary. And this isn't exactly how we planned it before we went, but this is how it turned out. So I wanted to include that as well. And I like having the different sizes in here. A few years ago, never would I have said that I liked different sizes. But now I've grown to like it quite a bit. So you'll see lots of different inserts besides the standard 6x12 here. So I included some photos of the hotel where we stayed. We were in Chelsea, which if you've never been to New York City and you're thinking of going and you want to know where to stay, Chelsea is a great area. It's kind of mid-price. It's not super expensive, but it's a decent area. And all rooms in New York are small. Just be prepared for that. But these are, pretty moderate. They're not bad. And we were in the flower district, so I had to take pictures of the lovely flowers that we passed every morning. And here's another insert. I have a 3x8, and then I did some sequins in there and fused the pocket closed. Love that. I'm kind of addicted to sequins now, so I like to use them whenever I can. And on here, this was just some of the subway stops that we used. So we were near 28th Street at our hotel, and we got out at Cortlandt. This is actually a subway station that was destroyed during the 9/11 attacks, and it took so long to rebuild it, and they just reopened in 2018. So it took a long time, and I wanted to make sure that I got the sign there. And here's some extra info about that station. So when we came out of our subway stop, we were at Wall Street because we were going to Trinity Church, which is actually right across the street. But I did get some cool pictures here of Wall Street. I'm going to there we go, adjust that just a little bit. And I have acrylic pieces again here. I have some puffy stickers. I have a bunch of digital files that are specific to New York for pocket cards. And so I wanted to use as many of those as I could. So there's another one right there. And then this is on the grounds of Trinity on the outside. And we actually knew before we got there that the main part of Trinity was closed. It's under heavy restoration, so you can't go in. So all that's open is kind of the side chapel, which is the Chapel of All Saints. So we did see that, but I also put the brochure in here just so we'd have information about the church. And then I decided to put a photo and stamp on the back as well, just to really incorporate it into the album. And then more photos from outside. This was actually a window that was tilted open when we were there. Lovely, lovely window there. And then this is inside the chapel. It's quite small. I figured with the size of the church that the chapel would be larger as well, but it's not. It's quite small. And then outside there are many famous people that are buried in the Trinity graveyard, and so we wanted to take our time and explore that as well. And one of the most famous people who's buried there is Alexander Hamilton. And 2 of the 3 of us have seen Hamilton and absolutely love it. And so we were very excited that we got to see Hamilton's grave and his wife. And I think just one of his sons is buried there as well, just Philip. Then here again, I used some sequins in a 3x8 insert, which I love. So I tried to match them to the photos from the graveyard. And this is just a 3 8x12 insert that I DIY'd because I needed a little extra space, and I even got a photo flip in there. And then immediately outside of the graveyard, before we went on to our next thing, there was a smoothie truck there, and it was so hot. This was August, and it was so hot already, you know, at like 10 in the morning. We had to have smoothies to cool off, so we got those and walked with them on our way to our next stop, which happened to be the 9/11 Memorial, because they're very close together. Trinity is just a few blocks away. And so I only have pictures from the outside because I've been to the inside in the museum already, and it's so emotional, I couldn't do it a second time. So I just explored the outside with them. I helped them get their tickets, and then I went elsewhere while they were in the museum. But I at least wanted to include some outside photos. I didn't journal a lot because I have been there before. I have journaling in a previous album. So really it was just about the photos. One cool thing that happened though was, it's very hard to see in this photo, but there are 4 planes there. And the day that we were there happened to be, and we didn't know this, the International Day of Remembrance of and tribute to the victims of terrorism. So totally unplanned that we were there on that day, but they had special flowers on the survivor tree, and then they had planes fly over. So that was kind of a cool thing to witness, even though we didn't expect it. So like I said, I went elsewhere while they were doing the museum. So I went to the Oculus, which is right across the street, and there are shops in there. There's like a whole mall in there. It's a transportation hub, so you can catch trains there. I just went in to find a coffee shop so that I could work while they were doing the museum. So I just talked about that, kind of exploring the Oculus, because when I had been to New York previously, it was not completed yet. So this was the first time I got to go in and explore and see it when it was done, which was pretty fun. So I did find a coffee shop, and I did my work and got some of that done so I could enjoy the rest of my day. And then they came and joined me. We walked around a little bit more when they were done, and we were commenting about how clean the subway area was. And it's because, of course, you know, it's brand new. Most of the subways do not look like, you know, these entrances at all. So when we were done there, we decided to head up towards Rockefeller Center. And so we grabbed a train. We got out at 50th, which is quite close to there. And it was getting later and we didn't have lunch yet. So we decided to grab something in the concourse level. It's the lower level of Rockefeller. And so we found Harry's Pizza. Enjoyed that and just time off of our feet for a while, which was nice. And then we went upstairs in Rockefeller and we decided to go to the FAO Schwarz store because I had not gone into it when I was there previously. It looked fun, so we figured why not. Here's another photo flip where I used a receipt and a foam embellishment and some lovely gold foil washi. And I love how all the colors here came together. And then these acrylic pieces are also from Bramble Fox. I think they came in that same set as my opening page, the one that's on there. There were 2 sets though, so I can't remember what went with what, but they were New York themed. And here we're outside. There were some Australian tourists there, and we offered to take their picture, and then they took ours. So we got a nice photo in front of the Rockefeller sign. And when I was there the last time, it was winter, so it didn't look like this. So it's kind of fun to see the fountains going. And then these are just along the plaza area here. Kept it pretty simple, just pocket card, you know, puffy sticker. Not too much to say about it. It's just lovely to look at all the colors. And then from there we went on to St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is right up the street from Rockefeller. It's kind of strange. You have all these skyscrapers, very modern, and then you have this on its own, kind of on its own block in the middle of the city. So it's quite interesting to see it. And it's lovely. I had also been here before, but my friends had not. And so I said, let's go. We'll explore it. Because it was partially under construction when I saw it the last time. And this time, everything was done. So I got the full view, and it's fantastic. If you're in New York, I highly recommend that you go, even if you're not a religious person. I'm not. And I still enjoy it for the art and the architecture. So there are some additional lovely photos from inside. And I tried to keep these layouts simple too because I didn't want to take away from the photos. They're gorgeous, so I definitely want them to be the centerpiece. So some more photos from around the side chapels and the lovely stained glass that's in there. And still more. And this definitely had a gold theme because there were lots of gold pieces in different places. I mean, look at that. So I figured, hey, gold is going to match. So I went with it. And just a little chipboard down here. Again, didn't want to do too much. Keep it pretty simple so the eye stays on the photos. And then we actually went back to our hotel after that to freshen up because it was so hot. We needed to shower and get ready for dinner and the play in the evening. And this story was about missing our stop on the train. Since I've been to New York, my friends just assumed like I would holler out when our stop was needed, even though I told them what it was. And I got talking to a local on the train and missed the stop, and they weren't paying attention either, apparently. And so we had to get off, turn around. It was a whole mess. We missed our dinner reservation, and we ended up meeting our friend at a local bar instead that was close to the theater. So it all worked out, but just a snafu that we had. So I just told that story here. And now we can laugh about it. At the time, it wasn't so funny. Now we can laugh about it. Here was just a quick jaunt through Times Square while we were done eating and we were on our way to the theater. And again, sequins. Love to include those. And I love this. This is a pocket card that I just put on a 3x8. Stuck on a little Doodlebug 3D sticker there. Called it good. And then here we are finally seeing the first night of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So there we all are out front, 3 Gryffindors and a Hufflepuff. So I wanted to make sure I showcased our houses nicely there. And I had lots of Harry Potter themed stuff, so that wasn't a problem to find embellishments for that. So I did different stickers and things, and then I really wanted to talk about how I love having friends that appreciate Harry Potter. Maybe not quite as much as I do, but they do. And so I loved having this experience with them. All right, so now here we are inside the theater. I had some digital files that were wizard themed, so I printed those and used those as well. Did a little bit of journaling. We loved all the Patronuses that were painted on the walls inside the theater. And I had a special kit of pocket cards that were Harry Potter themed, and I loved that they had a Dumbledore quote in there. So I used that. And then here we are posing for photos before the show. Again, showing our house pride here. Used lots of Harry Potter embellishments. And then these cards were part of a digital pack I bought, so I printed those, and then I typed this out and added it to both of them. Again, we have to rep our houses. And then just some more cards, a little bit about the show, and then I actually put the whole playbill in here so that I, or anyone else who wants to see it, can take it out and view it in full at any time. Then here I actually used my ticket. We had real tickets, and so I wanted to make sure that made it in there as well. And then from the second part of the show here, I have some photos, and then I just talked about it a little bit, about my reactions to the first night. And when we were done at the play, we had tickets to go to Top of the Rock, but it was raining, so you can see the rainy photos, which actually turned out quite lovely. I love the purple that's in them. And then I did my journaling under a flip here, but we were actually turned away when we got there because they said even though it was going to clear up and the rain would stop, the visibility would be so poor that we wouldn't be able to see anything. So they kindly rescheduled us for the following night. So this is now on to the next day. This is our morning here. Again, we're leaving from 28th Street. And I included my actual Metro card that I used while we were there. I thought that'd be fun. And then just some other interesting subway murals that we saw. So this one happened to be Alice in Wonderland themed, which was very fun. And we were at Grand Central after that. I had been there, they had not. And so I just kind of said, you know what, walk around, take your time, let me know when you're done. And it's all good since I had seen it. So they just kind of went around, took some pictures. We didn't spend a whole lot of time actually walking around in here. There weren't a ton of people, so it was easy to get around and for them to take their photos. So that went pretty quickly. And then we hadn't had breakfast, and so I said, hey, you guys, did you know that there's a whole concourse underneath here that has food? So let's go down there and check it out. So we did that, and we found the famous Magnolia. Apparently this is a big deal in New York, and we'd been told about it, and so there was one in Grand Central, and we went down there and looked. I didn't actually order anything. My friends did, but I did not. But everything is just gorgeous. I mean, look at these cakes that they make. It's kind of crazy. So we saw that, and then this is where I chose to order food. And it was wonderful. It was just enough to get me started for the day, so that was excellent. And I included my receipt, which I love to do. Little chipboard on there. Not too much happening, but I think it all comes together well, especially with this card. I love this journal card. So cool. And then our next stop was the Met. And so I just did the first layout here for the Met. Talked about how excited I was to go back because I had been there before, but I was excited to go again. I love art. So this is kind of the mecca of art for an art person. And I included a screenshot of how we took the train from Grand Central to the Met. So I thought that was a fun element. And then I put in the map that we used, and all I did was just add this 3D sticker. I printed this out on the Project Life app and just cut it down to the size I wanted and attached it. And that was really all that took. So now you have seen the first part of my New York album. I've had so much fun putting it together. It's always great to relive a trip. And this one was great, not only because I got to go, but because I had two of my best friends with me. So it was fantastic. And I hope you've enjoyed watching me put these together. Thanks for watching, everyone.